Welcome back to the Agent Goldmine. You are here for the ultimate listing checklist part 5, where we are specifically digging into the open house. If you have missed episodes 1 through 4, definitely go and check them out. In episode 4, what we just covered was the marketing section of the listing process. And if y'all are thinking, marketing, what do you mean? You just take photos and put it on the MLS? Then that episode is for sure for you, because it talks about all of the different ways that you can actually get your listing sold. So at this point, in case you didn't know, you're listening to the Agent Goldmine podcast. The podcast is agents who've been around the block and are ready to build sustainable, scalable businesses. You are with myself, Shelby Johnson, and Ali Garced. We host this shit, and it's awesome. We've closed hundreds of deals between the two of us, on the agent side, but also the investor side, team leader, you name it. So let's jump right in.
Welcome to the Agent Goldmine, the only podcast in the world specifically for real estate agents who are stuck at 5 transactions a year to help them get to 20 plus. Your hosts, Ali Garced and Shelby Johnson, 2 EXP icon agents, each do over 40 transactions a year and interview others who are crushing it. In this podcast, you'll receive the knowledge to help you scale your business using systems and processes with our interviews and monologues twice a week. If you want to be a part of our community, reach out. Welcome to the show.
Okay, as I mentioned, the last episode was all about marketing, and in my marketing strategy for my listing process, we're doing it in the coming soon status. And why this is important is because in my MLS, this may be different in your MLS, but in my MLS, when it's in coming soon status, the listing does not syndicate to Zillow. Therefore, I have complete control over this information in building the hype for the open house, because all of the marketing, all of the different strategies that we talked about in the last episode are geared to pushing, driving hype attention to this open house, because people cannot see it, cannot book a showing, cannot see it in person until the open house. And this is part of the strategies. Cause I know, Ali, a lot of people, we've talked to so many fucking agents over the years, and so many people are like, why would you even do an open house? Because no one comes. It's just maybe the nosy neighbors or whatever. No one comes because you're not marketing for it, in my opinion. So I think that a huge opportunity that is missed across the board with agents is the fact that an open house is not about the open house. It is about screaming from the rooftops to drive hype and attention to the open house. Does that make sense?
100%.
100%.
Yes.
Perfect. Okay. So I think that is all our setting up. As you know, actually, as you might not know, if this is your first time joining us, I have shared my screen, and so if you're not on YouTube, you can go over to the Agent Goldmine, which you should be there anyway. Go subscribe. We're fucking awesome, right? Also go to theagentgoldmine.com if you want any of our golden nuggets. So like tools, checklists, all of that stuff at theagentgoldmine.com. But if you're watching on YouTube, I have shared my checklist, and that is what I'm going to go through with you. But if you are not able to get to YouTube, fear not. I will explain this, and Ali is here to double check me, because sometimes, when you're just talking, sometimes you get carried away and you end up in like fucking Mars and you don't even realize it. Ali's here to bring me back down to earth and ask the questions that you guys are thinking on your behalf. Yes?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so marketing. We did that last time. Now we are, let's just go through this real quick, because the marketing that we did last time was in preparation for coming soon. Once you're into coming soon status, so this is like your final checks before going into coming soon status, you're going to do a quick any price adjustments that are needed. This is just a little note. Okay, so in the coming soon status, the final checks. We are, before you go live, this is just my process, do whatever you want, but do a last minute scan. Has anything closed recently that should adjust your pricing, good or bad? And this is a conversation that you've already set with the seller about your process is, hey, look, when we sign the listing agreement, whenever that may be, the price in here is subject to change because we do this last minute check before going live in the MLS. Then also just do any last minute final audits you need, like, is the listing agreement completely signed? Final audit of the MLS. Is there anything that your listing coordinator or virtual assistant or yourself added in there that you're like, do a sanity check and you're like, whoa, I'm fucking dumb. It happens. I'm missing all the photos or, whatever. Final audit of showing time, making sure, hey, is my listing sign up? Is my lockbox on? Okay, cool. Let's update the MLS to coming soon status, and then go into your CRM and update your CRM accordingly. So like in Follow Up Boss FUB, if you guys are following along, there's a deals section and there's a pipeline in which you move your deals through. So you go from pre-listing to coming soon. Also, alert anyone that needs to know. So your virtual assistant or your listing coordinator, actually, they're probably doing this for you, but like, yay, we're in coming soon status. Yay, update, and update your referral agent. This is always important because if you want to get more referrals, and this is hypothetically only if this is an actual referral, but the more updates that you can give that referral agent, the more they're like, okay, they're actually working. They're actually doing what they should be. Oh my God, I love these updates. I am going to give Ali Garced every single referral ever in this entire state. I don't even care. Oh, you're 4 hours away? I don't fucking care. Which I wouldn't take anyway, but that's not the point. Okay. So now that you're in coming soon, woo, you're going to email the sellers or text them, whatever your, communication style is with them. Of course, I have a template email for this. But it's like, yay, we're in coming soon. Here's what to expect. And include a copy of the MLS cut sheet, include a copy of the highlight sheet, and include a proposed post for them to copy and paste and put on their own social media. So that way they don't have to think, you've already done it for them, and it has the information that you want. Because if you don't do this, you're going to see some shit that they posted and you're like, God, that's terrible. That's not what we wanted. So you can control that if you want. And again, these are templates. You think through it once. Guys, this is the name of the game in real estate, is think through it fully once. And then that is your baseline. That is your template for all future usages. You just tweak it based on the scenario. But like if you think like lazy, like, fuck, I don't want to do this more than once, then you will be a lot better about building your systems and building your templates. Okay. Now that we're in coming soon, for y'all know, based on the last episode, that we run paid advertising. So we turn on the ads. Something that I should put in here, so not only should they post it on their own socials, but another place is ask them to post in their neighborhood Facebook group if you can't get in it yourself, because a lot of them will not allow you access unless you live in that neighborhood, and they'll ask for like, when did you close in your house? Like, stuff like that to verify. So that is another place that you should have the sellers do it for you. Okay. Now you're going to run ad. You're going to do all of was that a question in front, Ali? Or are you scratching? She's scratching her head, ladies and gentlemen. We all know. Okay. Okay. We're running ad. We're doing our strategic outreach. We're doing the organic posting. And by the way, this is not just a single post and ghost forever. This is as we're in coming soon status now, but throughout coming soon and throughout once you're live, this is a recurring task for me, virtual assistant, to do. If you guys were in the last one, you saw that there's like fucking 500 different places that we're posting this shit. So having leverage in place, it doesn't have to be a full virtual assistant. I really challenge you guys to get creative with, maybe you have a 13-year-old who's, competent enough to literally copy and paste on 500, but like anyone can copy and paste, right? So right now I have an 18-year-old downstairs who I stole from the gym to do some marketing stuff, and I got a 13-year-old down the street who does like birthday boxes. So like
sweatshop.
I'm all about it, underage. What? No, okay, that sounds really bad. I don't know if I should. You get my point though. Be creative. Okay, now that we're coming soon. Also, if you're going to do slide dial, this is something that I took off of our process. I didn't talk about last time because people are just cracking down a lot on like unsolicited text calls, stuff like that. And so we decided to take that out of our process in lieu of these wax mail seal invites that we did talk about last time. Okay, whatever, you're going to post on all these different places and draft it. You're going to email out your database. Hey, sneak peek, exclusive, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Also, you can email your vendors, ask them to share with everyone they know, because your vendors should also care about you selling property. They're your team. And when I say vendors, I mean, you can literally like ask any of your vendors, but top of mind, your lender partner who you deal with all the time. Or in this case, I actually reached out because the property is so unique. I knew that financing would be a challenge because it's not a VA, it's not a USDA, like it's not FHA, like it will not qualify for this crazy thing. So I was like, I need to figure this out ahead of time because I don't want potential buyers to have to figure that out because we can't trust anyone to figure fucking anything out, right? If it's anything that's difficult, people are like, oh, well, I guess I just can't do it. So then you just pave the way and you make it easy for them, right? If you want people to do something, make it easy for them. But anyway, so I have 3 finance lenders standing by who have already explained the property. They said that they can finance it. So that way, when a buyer comes, I can pair, but you could also ask those type of vendors to push it out. Who do you know? They all have databases too, inspectors, etc. Okay.
Question.
And then, oh yes, Ali has a question in the front.
In your email blast to your database
Yes,
with the exclusive sneak peek, photos, 1 photo, no photos.
Great question.
Neighborhood photo.
Yeah. So with this, everything is going to this blast is going to be very similar to what we are posting on all of these different Facebook pages, and the fact that it is not full information because we want them to have to raise their hand and say I'm interested. So like we're going to put out everywhere, it's literally the same funnel. It is going to be like a video with the caption. And I don't know actually how we're going to do it for how the email is going to look, but it's the concept that we're taking away right now, where the video is like the hook, grab attention. The caption is summary of the property, like enough to hit on their pain points, get their curiosity. We went over last time a little bit about what that would look like with the call to action of, what was it? It's like, oh, want the full scoop. Want the full scoop on this property. And then if they raise their hand saying yes, at that point in time, that is when they're going to get all of the photos. They're going to get the highlight sheet. They're going to get the information about the Airbnb earnings report and, all of those details plus the invite to the open house. But I do want to make sure, like the database blast, I do want people to have a way they have to raise their hand saying I'm interested so I can identify who to follow up with. Yeah. Does that make sense?
Totally. Okay, cool. That makes sense. So they get like a link to like a Google Drive where everything's in there. Or I paid off one of my mortgages in just 4 months thanks to the shred method. I personally use the shred method to manage my money and crush my mortgage faster than I ever thought possible. The system was simple, the customer service is top notch, and the results speak for themselves. $121,000 of a mortgage balance gone in just 4 months. I put my money where my mouth is, and it worked. If I can do it, so can you. This can not only help you, but your business as well. Help your clients not only buy homes, but also pay their mortgage off faster and build equity sooner. When you add this kind of value to their lives, you're not just their agent, you're their go-to advisor for life. The Shred Method sets you apart and keeps your clients coming back. So go to theshredmethod.com to learn more about how you can shred your mortgage and help your clients do the same.
Yeah. So the email itself, we can actually go through it if that would be helpful. Okay. So this is actually the email after they have raised their hand. So this isn't the database blast. This is the after they've raised their hand. This is on Facebook, all those places when that happens and they say, yes, I want the full scoop. So full scoop on your dream property. And then this actually has the address because we have not disclosed the address up until this point in the process because we want to funnel them into our own system of data collection. So now, hey, here's the full scoop on this property. Here's the summary of information, all the details here. This will lead them to the in-depth highlight sheet, which I can't remember if we went over in the past. I'm pretty sure we did. But basically it has the layout of the land. It has all the information on the home 1, home 2, the workshop, the location, as well as operational notes. So services, projected growth and upside, Airbnb booking information, county guidelines, this financing that I mentioned, plus all of the fucking 5-star reviews that this property, the Airbnb has gotten. Anyway, so that's the details when they click there. And then also additional information. So the Airbnb data, like I have the earnings report with vacancy, income, all that stuff. Photos, video, floor plan, disclosures, everything you can dream of here, listing price, and then the call to action is want to see it in person. Actually, I don't think that's the call to action. I'm now using words that maybe don't make sense in this, but what I want them to do is to go to the open house. So the next step in the funnel, so they've raised their hand, they're interested. I've provided them information. The next is want to see it in person, come to our open house. Hey, which is what we're talking about today, which is funny because we haven't talked about it at all and we're 14 minutes in. That's fine.
Okay, overall, so to recap on this sequence,
yes,
the email blast was very, very vague, like, but here's a property.
Yes.
No photo, right? No photo, definitely no address.
No photo. Yeah, right.
Okay.
Exactly.
Then they say, hey, me. So you choose the 14 me's or whatever it is. Then you email them the basics, everything about it. Still no photos. The only way to see what it looks like, you've given them the address so they can do their own, searching, or am I incorrect? And then
I
they see it
did.
in real
We are
life.
giving them photos. We're not giving them
Okay.
all the photos though, because this property in particular, the house is not the selling point. The land is the selling point. So we're being picky about what we're sharing, but we are going to share some photos at this point. A note on that, if you guys, I can't remember if I said this in the past or not, but if you guys have like this property, when you search it on Zillow, now that I've given them the address, I was like, oh shit, they're going to look it up. Where are they going to go? Zillow. So I went on Zillow and I saw that all of the photos were like fucking 15 years old. And they were so bad with like the drapes, and it was dark with all of the brown and the gold. Like it was awful. And so I was like, oh my gosh, that's what they're going to see when they search. So I went in, I had my VA claim the property on Zillow, which I don't know if y'all can know that you can do. You can claim it and then you can delete all of the photos, which is exactly what we did. So now when they go in to search it, they can't find shit. Thank God.
That's genius. I never thought about doing that.
Well, wow. I was like, how do we fix this? We have to fix this.
Oh man, that's amazing. Okay.
You're so kind. Where were we? We were here. We were coming soon. Okay, cool. So now we're coming soon, and you guys were pushing all of the attention. As you can see, the email is like, come to the open house. Like all of this stuff is driving to funnel people into a little bit more information, plus come to our open house. So now let's talk about the open house. That's what we're going to talk about today, right? We've already talked about marketing, which is the big piece that most agents are missing when it comes to open houses. And actually, Ali, on all of this, I would love your feedback, input. Like, I feel like you've done a bunch of open houses, like agents, I know agents in our family have done a bunch of open houses. So feel free to like jump in on any of this. But here is our plan. So we're doing Saturday from 1 to 4, which on the last open house that we did, where we had 60 people come, we did Sunday for 30 minutes. And it was insane. That's how we really funneled a ton of people. And we got some amazing footage of like people swarming. It was ridiculous. But this is a different property. This is a different target audience. It's not investors. And so anyway, that's what we're doing. I don't know. I kind of wanted to do 2 hours and not 3. Drake convinced me that 3 was the way. So here we are. In preparation for the open house, we are going to have 15 to 20 like info packets, which those info packets are going to be the highlight sheet, the operational notes that we just talked about. It will be the measurements. I have a checklist for it somewhere, which I don't know where it is right now.
Of course you do.
I'm like, where is it though? Like, where did I put it? I don't know. Well, clearly that part we're not, you know what? That's a good way for me to circle back and talk about what we've done after the open house. But we're going to have these info packets ready with a little sign, take one. We're going to have a shoes off sign. I already ordered the little shoe covers for people to put on, which are so fun. And I used to make fun of hardcore. I really did. I was like, no one's going to fucking do that. And now I realize that it's really not, it's really more for the seller. It's like the seller is like, oh my God, you care about the property, you care about, and that's one of those things too. Like you have to think about it from everyone's perspective. You don't have to, I challenge you to. That's something I'm challenging myself to do is, what is, these little things that you hear from other agents that you scoff at, like I don't know, who is it mattering to? Like, what is the words? I'm not making sense. Maybe I am making sense. Ali, do you know what I mean?
100%. So when I first got licensed, it was still very, very heavy COVID time. And so everyone was wearing booties. And my very first listing was one of my best friends, and he's a germaphobe, complete germaphobe. So it was like very, very interesting to start with that with him as a seller. He was like, I don't want anybody even opening my drawers. Like they're nasty ass hands. I was like, dude, I kind of get it, but also like
Yeah.
I know you're a germaphobe. So it's like with just like the shoes off, it definitely protects the seller. It also then adds another level of like, ooh, this house is like one level up,
Yeah.
for the buyer's perspective. Like,
Right.
oh, I have to treat this house like a little bit better than I do any other house.
Right.
um yeah, so I love booties. I'm a big fan, even if it's like a property that's like kind of like rinky dink.
Yeah.
A big fan, big fan.
Okay, good. I'm glad. Because this is actually the first time I'm ever doing like I'm going to enforce it. Like, like you are, put the fucking, and it says shoes off sign, which that's not really what it is. It's more of like booties on. Let me change that. Live on the fly. With a little basket of like, but yeah. But I also, the other thing that I didn't really consider before, it's like if a buyer is super interested and they're in love with this house, they're going to really respect that you're making the other people take care of it because it's their future house, that they really want. And now it's like in a slightly, instead of like all these, especially in carpet, like, ew, no.
Dude, people are nasty. If anybody wore shoes in my house, I'd be like, get the fuck out. Like,
Yeah,
I don't know what
exactly.
kind of dog shit you stepped in before. One step above. So booties is like the easiest way to go.
Yeah.
I've also seen in other properties where people like actually put the like when you work with movers, they put like the saran wrap as the walkway around. That's like one level even further
Yeah.
ahead. But booties,
Yeah.
like that's so simple. Almost everybody can do it, and it's
And it's so
very
cheap.
easy to
There was like
enforce.
100 pack on Amazon for like
Yeah,
$1.
very cheap. Yeah.
Exaggerating in all directions, but you get the point. And then so this is our sign-in method or strategy. We actually have it easier this time around because people are like, how do I get them to sign in? Well, this property in particular is a private road with a gated entrance. And so I'm gonna have my 18-year-old in the basement come with me to man the gate. And so it's like, hey, like, this is a private road, private property. We just really need to maintain a list of people who attend it. Also, there's gonna be a raffle, so sign in. You get a $50 potential Bucky's gift card, bitch. She probably won't say it like that, but you get the point.
That's awesome. Oh, she wear like a little road vest
I know. She's
or a shirt
yeah.
that says bouncer.
Yeah. Oh, she should. It's cute. Okay. And then the other thing, like before this is all prep mode, like visualize the setup of the house, create a game plan, designate jobs in advance. This is something that I haven't confirmed whether or not I'm gonna do, but I think that I really wish that we had professional photography, videography at the last open house to capture the fact that we had 60 people and then it was absolutely swarming. And so I'm probably going to see how much interest is geared up through all of the marketing ahead of time. And if I'm like, this is going to be a blowout open house, then I'm going to hire my photographer to come back, my photographer, videographer, and capture it because I just feel like that is such a good, as we talked about previously, Ali, we're not thinking about this listing in particular. Of course we are, but more so we're thinking about building our resume for future listing appointments and clients and the resume that you're putting out on social media that's showing how you take care of sellers and all the things that you do to go above and beyond and the results that you get from doing so.
100%. One thing too, I don't want to spend too much time on it, but with the raffle, reach out to your broker. They'll give you tips on, because every state is different. So some states don't allow it, some states will, but with under certain caveats. So just reach out to your broker. They'll be able to give you tips as far as what other people do for raffles.
Love it. Perfect. Okay, physical prep ahead of time. We ordered a bunch of open house signs, like the mega packs. So there's 20. We got 20 of the like open house signs, and we also got for sale signs. And we are going to flood the roads on the way to the house. Also ahead of time, the speaker, the playlist, shoe covers. We already talked about, shoe basket. Air fresheners / Febreze, which is so funny because I used to be such a candles and air freshener girl. And then I went on this crunchy, side track road that I've been on. And I'm like, oh, you can't breathe that stuff. You're breathing chemicals. You're going to fucking die. Yep. But we're just, all of the buyers who come in, we're just going to have to give them a little bit of lung cancer. So sorry, but it's going to smell great. Yeah. And then just like last minute cleaning supplies. So like something to wipe down the tables when you spell, whatever, dust busters. This is both before, but also importantly after, because you want to leave it better than you found it, guys. Snacks, drinks, go box. But then guys, also make sure that you are adding the open house to showing time to the MLS along with the details, and to reiterate, blocking all showings up until the open house. And yeah, timeline. So 3 to 4 days prior, you're going to put out the open house signs near every major street intersection. And then you're going to door knock, which this is something that I'm like so not a door knocker. I'm just going to do the immediate neighbors on the private road leading up to the house. And it's literally just a heads up, like, because, and so it's not many people, it's like 5 different houses. I'm like, hey, just a reminder, you probably got a letter from me. But just in case, we are doing an open house this Saturday. And so there will be more traffic than normal. I just wanted to let you know. And I'd love for you to come and hang out. Please come hang out. And who do you know? Who do you want to be your neighbor? Dude, pick your neighbor. So that's the door knocking piece. The other piece that I'm going to do this time is call other listing agents around the neighborhood to see if they have anything that's like coming up, what's off market. Like, hey, I got this coming. Because one of the things that is a great conversation with buyers at the open house, if case the house isn't perfect for them, it's like you start talking about, you know, what they're interested in. And it's like, hey, I actually know of several homes that are coming up that aren't on the market. Like, I know this area really well. Would you be interested? I can share you information about them after this. And they're like, fuck yeah. And I'm like, okay, perfect. Well, you signed in, so I have your contact information. I will be sure to follow up with that. And it just makes you sound cooler, like you know stuff, blah, blah, blah. And then a day prior, of course, we're going to do all of the reminders, the social media reminder, the database. Oh, here's my little go box. Perfect. My go box checklist. So we have helium balloons, we have snacks, drinks, shoe covers, the property packets we already talked about, packing tape just in case, air fresheners for breeze. We already talked about a lot of these. Yeah, actually, we already talked about all that fucking shit, but it's in a box downstairs. And I'm a big fan of a go box and having a go box ready in advance, because stress the day of can be high. It can be high. And if you're running around and you're like, oh my God, I totally wish that I had ordered this ahead of time, then you could have. You could have, and it could be in a box that you grab and go and you throw in your truck and you're ready. Just saying. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
To clarify, the open house at this point, is the house on the market or is the house still off market? It's an off market open house?
No, the house is live at this point. So
Okay.
coming soon. Good question. Great question. So coming soon, I do for a week normally. It depends on the property, but I'm going to say a week for it to be easy in this point. We're doing coming soon from Wednesday to Wednesday, and then on the week later, it'll go live. So it'll be live on the MLS for partial Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then Saturday up until the open house. And the reason why this is important for my MLS in particular is because once it's live, it will syndicate to Zillow. And I want to make sure that there is enough time between Wednesday and Saturday for those Zillow stalkers to find it and see that, oh, there's an open house, in case they weren't on the ads, in case they didn't get a piece of mail, in case all of these different things. And enough time for agents who might have clients who are looking to like see the property, give them, you know, all those things. Does that make sense?
Perfect. Yes.
Okay. Cool. So now we are execution. Yeah, show up early and make sure you're all set. Realize that you are the host. High energy, have fun, share on socials, pictures, B-roll in case you didn't hire someone. Post event, leave it better than you found it. Trying to think about what else. Oh, and then the next day is when you're going to make yourself look great in front of your sellers. Hopefully, hopefully you have an amazing recap to send them of like the number of people who came through, the number of calls, texts, emails, hopefully, you know, maybe offers, whatever. Yeah. And you can give that. It depends on like, you know, is the seller local? Are they coming back? Are you doing a handover with them in person? You could have the stuff and you could do it in person. If not, you could send a recap. And yeah, that's basically fucking it. I have more ideas. Like for the mega house, I'm not doing this right now because I'm already like fucking feel like I'm doing too much. Not too much. Like it's very fun, but it's also like a shit ton. So but down the road, I mean, like it'd be awesome to like have a food truck, you know, or we already talked about professional photographer. If it's a neighborhood with like a bunch of kids, how cool would it be to have like a bouncy castle? You know, if it's like a neighborhood where and a location where everyone can see it. Having things like, the bouncy castle would be definitely gossip worthy. The gossip isn't the right word. The chitter chatter of the critters. Also, like, another thought with the professional photography as a way to market it. I think I mentioned this before, but like, hey, professional. If I knew up front that I was doing that, you could market it being like, hey, like, when was the last time you had a family photo? We'll also have a professional photographer there. Bring your kids, get your free photos, tell your friends, capitalize on this as just another way. I also really like the idea of like a popcorn machine and a little, because they have them on Amazon. They're like $120. And then you could have like little baggies that say thanks for popping by. They could like make a little baggie. Okay.
That's
Cute,
cute.
right?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm done. Allie,
Oh,
what
wait.
do you got?
Okay. I have a question. So
Yeah.
let's talk super quick communication at the open house with potential clients,
Mhm.
and the follow-up. What is so they come in, they're like, "Oh, I like this house," or they don't, but they're still on the market.
Yeah.
What does your communication look like with them specifically?
Yeah, dude. This is such a hard question because I don't know. Honestly, I don't know at this point. I think it really depends on how many people show up. I know that when we had 60 people last time, there was no way I was talking to all of them. I literally was just standing there. And if people had questions, they came up to me because it was fucking chaos, you know? And I do kind of think that it's like a store. People don't want you to talk to them. They
Yeah.
don't
Yeah.
if they have a question, they'll ask. Otherwise, they're like, get out of my face. I have no questions. Please leave me alone. So I don't know. What are your thoughts? What do you do?
If you're looking to change brokerages this year so you can increase your business and you want to join us at eXp Realty and would like either myself, Ali Garced, or Shelby Johnson to personally sponsor you in, so that way you have access to 2 icon agents, text the word join to either my number, 914-318-4918,
or Shelby's number, 859-267-3849.
If I sponsor you and you have access to the both of us and everything that's 5 Pillars Nation, we have the checklist, the systems, the processes to help you scale your business. And don't take our word for it. We've had agents switch brokerages to join us that were stuck making $300,000 GCI, and they join us so they can scale. So text the word join to those numbers and we'll take the next steps.
I agree with you in that whenever I went to an open house prior to me being an agent, I'm here to see the house. Like, there's
Right.
nothing that you can tell me that is really going to, I mean, yeah, some extra stuff, like maybe the age of the roof that I can't tell off the bat. But you already solve all of that with your property sheet that they can just take. So it's, I don't know, it's just for funsies, So I gauge them. If they're open, so I typically would ask them, do you want a tour? Otherwise, I'm here if you have any questions. Sometimes they're like, oh yeah, I would love a tour. They're usually a little bit older. So like, okay,
Older.
cool. Then you give them a tour. Otherwise they're like, no, fuck off. And then if I have any questions, I'll ask. Perfect. I'll be
Yeah.
right here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then if so I think Taylor Doolittle does it really well. Guys, if you want to, he's like very smooth. He's not in your face. He doesn't make you feel gross, and he still gets their contact information. He doesn't do a sign-in sheet. Go to this sounds so bad. Go to Real Estate Rockstars. Back when I interviewed him, Taylor Doolittle open house, I thought his method for talking to people at open houses was like fucking great. So that's
We had
kind of my thought.
one
But sorry.
we had one on this channel, the Agent Goldmine with oh my gosh, who was it that had the huge banner outside with the
Libby.
QR code? Yeah, Libby.
Yeah.
So you could just like, if they wanted to scan, they could, and it was like complete, like it almost like doubled as like almost like balloons, like, hey, here's attention to this unit, also scan this code.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Cool.
In regard to follow-up though, I know it might sound, actually I don't think it is, because we have that funnel. They raise their hand, they want information. Then we're like, hey, come to our open house. We require the sign in so we know who actually came, because it's like down the funnel. So you can also follow up, whether it's just like a text, like, hey, thanks so much for coming out today. Did you have any questions? Is there anything I can help you with? And like, not pushy, because again, like we said, Ali, like if they want it, they're going to ask. If they don't want it, like you're not going to change their mind by the amount of follow-up you do about this property. that, but then also flip side of people who raised their hand and didn't come. It's like, hey, so, but miss seeing your face today. And then you like, is there anything that you had questions on? Is there a reason why you couldn't make it? Whatever. It's just opportunity for that sort of follow up. And then from there, like what happened last time, we had 24 offers, like it was insane. So we used those funnels as a means to, hey, just highest and best is this time, like and then based on communication, we could also be like, hey, you mentioned you were submitting an offer. Are you still submitting? So that's kind of like the follow-up process from there, if that makes sense.
100%. Cool. I like it. What is next? What's the next episode that you're going to cover in the listing checklist? Which, by the way, this listing checklist is not on theagentgoldmine.com. It is only for those that join our EXP community. We have a lot of other checklist templates, calculators, and everything else, tips, scripts, plus beyond on theagentgoldmine.com. And so, but we are sharing this checklist on YouTube. If you watch this, you can manually type it out. Shelby has lipstick on now. Shelby put lipstick on, then she took
I didn't mean to. I thought this was chapstick, and then I put it on and I saw myself and I was like, oh my God, that's fucking pink. We're doing it. Okay, so what is next is we're going to go through, which we touched on a little bit today, but like what happens when you're live if you have to do ongoing maintenance, because it might not sell overnight. And then what do you do? And your sellers are looking at you. So that's what we're going to go over next. And then after that, we're going to do the contract to close process and then post closing. So those are our next and final last 3 things within the ultimate listing process. And also, guys, we call it the ultimate because we're fucking whatever. It's a podcast and you name it something. If you're looking at this and you're like, oh my God, I can't believe she missed this or doesn't do this, I want to keep building my process. Can you please let me know? This is a living, breathing document that is updated and changed every fucking day. So this is a 2-way street. Happy, share with me. And then the thing is, we're not sharing this with anyone right now. Eventually we will share a version of this, just a little bit more, little bit less robust. So keep an eye on for that. Eye out on whatever. Yeah. And that's it. I think that's it.
And in order to get one of the first copies, once Shelby decides to make this public, we are going to be looking at our reviews on Apple. So if whoever, starting today, which is February 10th, which is when we're recording this, February 10th, 2025, any review starting from now on, please let us know, send us a screenshot, and we'll put you on the waiting list.
Woo! Yeah, perfect. Love it. And okay, guys, be a bro and share this show. Bye.